Hello everyone and welcome to Saturday's edition of the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. First things first, let's all, please, if you've not done already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button and hit that notification button so you know when we go live with all our videos from here. The wonderful Alps. It's beautiful, it's stunning. It only took us 16 hours to get here and I'm very tired, but I'm not going to let that stop me from today's news. And oh my god, stage 14 once again is going down in the history books as being one of the best stages of this year's Tour de France. We're going to get into that shortly, but first, before we do, let's take a quick look back at stage 13 as well as all the rest of the news that's happening in the world of cycling today. If anybody's listening and not just staring at that, I'll get on with it. Now, we saw two big crashes in the time trial yesterday, but for me personally, this was the biggest shoot terrible of the tour so far.
Now, to mark the 100th anniversary to the day of the first awarding of the yellow jersey, the organisers decided to parachute it in. Didn't go entirely to plan.
Talking of those crashes at the time trial, we also got an update from Jumbo-Visma on Twitter as to Wout van Aert's current condition.
Ja, Wout reed de laatste kilometer in. Het was een vrij smalle bocht en ja, hij reed dicht langs de hek en hij heeft het hek geraakt, waardoor hij ten val is gekomen en zeer ernstige diepe wond.
Marianne Vos was the winner of this year's La Course with a devastating attack on the last climb before the final finish. It was insane.
It looked likely she could hang on, but again it was the orange jersey and the trademark acceleration of Marianne Vos, the winner of the first edition of La Course in 2014, attacking from behind. It was agonisingly close, but Vos caught and passed Spratt with 350 metres to go. The Dutch woman's acceleration was astounding, opening a huge gap, and joy and a big roar as she took the victory. Leah Kirchmann crossed the line for second, just ahead of Cecily Uttrup-Ludwig, followed by Lucinda Brand and Ashley Moolman-Pasio. 4 stage wins in this year's Giro Rosa. It's looking like a great year for Marianne Vos.
Now, according to a tweet from Pete Cossens, this is the scene that greeted Marianne Vos at the press conference after the race. And everyone was outraged. Unbelievable. One of the greatest cyclists of all time, and no one turned up to the press conference. Even Mark Cavendish got involved and he tweeted this. For sure, reasoning as to why no one was there is a debate that's too long to tweet, but this genuinely makes me sad and embarrassed about where the sport is at. Marianne Vos is, in my opinion, the greatest currently active rider and one of cycling's GOATs. Thanks for highlighting, Peter. However, I think it's a little bit of fake news. That we're just trying to stir something, and rightly so, you know, we should be stirring this up, we should be having this conversation. However, let's not tar all the journalists with the same brush saying why didn't any of them turn up, or because they were too busy covering the men's. That's not the case. And Ola Chenoweth actually tweeted this out. Striking as it is, and Peter Cossens right to point it out, it should be pointed out that Eurosport UK gathered our interviews by the finish line, as did Richard Moore and Rose for Cycling Podcast. Can only guess others did the same. All right, let's move on to my video recommendations of today, and 2 videos that I want you to go and watch. As always, links are possibly down in the description. First up is a power video from the guys at CyclingHub over on the Eurosport Facebook page. Go and give that some love. That's Simon Clarke descending a couple of stages ago. Unbelievable. Go and check it out. You get a real insight into just how fast these riders can descend.
Descent, if you can remember, a couple of years ago, the
Simon Clarke, he's been extraordinarily busy. He does get payback sometimes, and yeah, he's been one of those riders that we've sort of not overly favoured, but certainly taken notice of.
And next up is this video from Cervelo. Awesome, my kind of ad, this one. Check it out.
Welcome to the Wednesday Night Rough Club. It's fast, it's free, it's flat out. That's Norman. Look at him, he bloody loves it. Lycra on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. In fact, I've never seen him not in Lycra. Scottish born and bred, but he's convinced he's Italian. Grazie. You want to talk about classic roads? Who's your man? Legs of a champion, and but the handling skills of a shopping trolley. He'd never been off-road till he did a race last year and discovered that gravel riding was a thing, not just a hipster thing, but a thing he could actually get on board with. Now he owns almost every local segment, but only on straight bits. Coming on the inside, that's Colleen, hard as nails. Well, she's been at this longer than any of us. A pain cave pioneer and Type 2 nutter. She used to race Tri before getting hooked on the road bike. Fast forward a few years, and she's escaped the rush and taken a different road. A gravel road. Now she's smashing out all the epics and leaving the rest of us for dust. Especially George, a resident chubby vegan, or Peter Vegan as he calls himself. With DIY tattoos and a dodgy haircut, he's just at home in the skate park as he is in the rough club. And he's out with us every week, rain or shine, bringing all the laughs with minimal graft.
All right, let's move on now to the summit finish at Tourmalet, stage 14, Tour de France. And before we talk about the big guns at the front, let's spare a thought for Caleb Ewan. Fact of the day, I'll suffer more than the rider who wins the stage just to stay in the time cut. And it's the same for all the riders who just don't have those climbing legs. They spend the whole day grovelling at the back, working as hard as they can just to get to these mountaintop finishes, just to make the time cut, just so they can carry on throughout the rest of the Tour de France. It's brutal, both at the front and at the back, but at the front, oh my God. Oh my God, indeed, Pritchard. Right, before we go any further, I just want to say that thank you to our partners, Wahoo. They have made this whole trip possible. They have allowed me to come to the Alps to provide you with better content. And in return, see this link down here? Click it, follow it. If you need anything from Wahoo, if you're in the market to buy anything from Wahoo, from a heart rate monitor, a speed cadence sensor, a brand new Wahoo bolt, or even a kicker, then follow the link. And when you do that, and then you purchase something from them, it lets them know that you came from here, and then it makes me look bloody amazing, all right? So if you want a brand new bolt, see it, or a not so new bolt that's not as cool but still a bolt, or a hat, or a bottle, then just follow that link, go and do it. Tell them Pritch sent, well, you don't even need to tell them, just buy something, they'll know that Pritch sent you. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. Thank you to Wahoo for allowing us this opportunity to come out here and provide you lot with amazing content. Oh my God, indeed. Right, before we analyse it as much as we can, stage 13 was just unbelievable. What we saw from Alaphilippe, no one expected. Yes, we expected a decent time trial, but not in that way, not in that style, not with that big a difference between him and G. And it caused a lot of people to take to Twitter and, well, basically call him out. That's the only way you can describe it. Check these tweets out. Killian Kelly took to Twitter and said the way in which Alaphilippe bounded off his bike at the end was evocative of Landis in 2006. Isn't he supposed to be absolutely after an effort like that? Is he doping? I have no idea, but it was unsettling. And the Race Radio tweeted, for folks asking about doping, this is cycling. We will address the topic in 5 to 10 years. For now, just enjoy the spectacle. And over on Cycling Weekly, Julian Alaphilippe answers critics. I know the work I've done to get here. And after the performance today on stage 14, well, these rumours are only just they're just going to grow. I was hoping for, well, I don't know. See, for me now, it's hard to ever cast aspersions on anybody as to whether they're doping or not. But I kind of see now where the hatred towards Team Ineos comes. The fact that everybody jumps on that doping bandwagon when it comes to Team Ineos. They clearly work really hard at what they do. They have a system that works, and it has worked up until what looks like now, in the fact that they sit on the front of the peloton and they just put everyone else in a box. And everybody gets mad. Anyone that's not a Team Ineos fan gets mad, and they say they're doping. And now I'm at the point where, all right, a friend of mine is getting dropped in the Tour de France now. These guys must be doping. I can't say that. It's unfair for me to say that, because if that was Geraint doing the same thing, I would be saying it's as clean as a whistle. So it's unfair for me to say that Alaphilippe 100% is doping. However, I can understand why people would say that and go, right, this doesn't look right. Someone who won Milan-San Remo, Flèche Wallonne, you know, is he a classics rider? I don't know. Did he win the polka dot jersey last year? Yes, but he went out in a totally different way to go and win that, and now he's riding like a Grand Tour rider with very little Grand Tour experience in terms of riding as a Grand Tour rider. So it's really difficult to not question it, but also at the same time I'm not going to question it, because what he's doing is fantastic. And you know what, if it's a legitimate ride, then fair play to him. If he's been away and been training just as much as Team Ineos has been doing and doing what he needs to be doing, then fair play to him. If he can maintain it, that is the question, and that will put the doubters to bed, I guess. If he can maintain this all the way to Paris in this style with this much what looks like freshness, because again, stage 14 jumped off the bike and to me He looked like he'd just finished the 20k that I'm just about to ride. He was fresh. And that's not to say just because he looks fresh he's clearly doping. That's just to say, you know, why is everybody else suffering here? Why is everybody else looking like dog shit and coming behind you? So in my eyes, these riders are clean, and maybe that's naive, but I'm going to sit back and watch it for what it is. I don't care if every single one of them is doping. I don't care if none of them is doping at the minute, because what we're seeing on TV is just one of the best Tour de France's. Thibaut Pinot took an amazing victory. He just rode everybody off his wheel with about a K, 1.2, 1.3k to go, and just no one went with him. And to me personally, it looked like Alaphilippe allowed him to do that. It looked like Alaphilippe, if that was Geraint, that he would have been able to jump on that wheel. He kind of had a look around as if to say, there's no one's catching, well, I'll leave him to it. I'll let him have that win. Do you know what? The ride for me, David Goudin, he was unbelievable. The way he just set that pace on the Tourmalet, the way he just pushed from the front. That guy's clearly a future Grand Tour winner in the making. He was sensational, and for me personally, that was ride of the day. All right, short and sweet video. I know there's still so much to talk about from stage 14. We've got some quite undulating and hilly stages over the next couple of days, so allow me to just have a bit of a sleep, get back on my A game for tomorrow's video. And as ever, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you've not enjoyed it, hit that dislike button. Make sure you've hit that notification bell, and until tomorrow. And once again, thank you so much for watching. Now, if you want to check out any more CPCN videos, feel free to click on that one just there. That one down there, that's my favorite from this week. And if you haven't done already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Eesh.